In the gloom between worlds, a solitary wind carries a name on its whispers, a name as old as the first sin. Through the endless night of hell's dominion and the secret corners of mortal fear, the syllables resound, Gusion. He is the 11th among the 72 spirits bound in legend by King Solomon's will, a great duke of the infernal realm, whose presence falls like a hush before revelation. From the crackle of ancient parchment to the whisper of forbidden prayers, Gusion's story unfolds. In Hell's hierarchy, Gusion stands as a great duke, a position of lofty authority among the damned. He wears no crown as a demon king might, yet carries the aura of a sage among devils. Some whisper he was once among the shining seraphim of heaven before pride cast him down, now that stolen heavenly wisdom is turned to the service of the pit. Through the brimstone courts and shadowed halls of the underworld, he moves with a quiet confidence, a diplomat and counselor who commands respect, even where fear rules absolute. In the endless twilight of Hell's expanse, Gusion's domain is not marked by a throne of skulls or a fortress of fire, but by the intangible realm of knowledge and accord. It is said that he keeps court in the dark libraries of the damned, and walks freely in Pandemonium's council chambers, where demon lords gather in uneasy truces. His voice has mediated disputes that threaten to set the legions of hell against each other, for he can settle feuds with the same deft hand that he mends mortal friendships. 40 infernal legions march under Gusion's banner, yet he wields this vast host with measured intent, preferring strategy and cunning over brute force, subtle influence over open war. Those who have glimpsed Gusion's visage speak of an unsettling majesty. Ancient grimoires claim he appears as a Xenophilus, a stranger from distant lands, foreign and disquieting to mortal eyes. In some accounts, he comes cloaked as a wanderer beyond any known land, a traveler draped in the raiment of exotic stars, his face veiled yet somehow staring straight into one's soul. In others, he takes on a more bestial guise, a towering being with the head of a jackal or mighty hound set upon a human form, striding on two legs with eerie dignity. Whichever form he assumes, the very air around him crackles with otherness, an aura of far-off places and forgotten knowledge. His presence alone reminds any mortal witness that he is not of our world, but a thing of the outer darkness, an outsider even among demons. Gusion's true power lies not in claws or flames, but in the fathomless depth of his insight. Within his gaze, it is said, the threads of time itself unspool. Past, present, and future, he sees them all as one eternal tapestry woven by fate's own hand. To the brave or desperate who seek him, he offers revelations from that tapestry. Pose to him any question of what has been, what is, or what shall come, and he will answer. The lost history of an ancient kingdom, the hidden motive of a treacherous ally, the outcome of battles yet unfought, such secrets are his to unveil. He speaks, and the truth spills forth unvarnished and unflinching, as startling as a lightning bolt in the dark of night. Yet Gusion does more than tell fortunes. He reveals meaning. The demon shows the why and how behind each secret, unraveling knots of confusion. In his counsel, riddles find their answers and doubts dissolve, as if a great fog were lifted from the mind at his whisper. Knowledge is not Gusion's only gift. He is also a binder of hearts and an arbiter of honor, a demon of reconciliation and prestige. When rancor has sundered the bonds between friends or lovers, Gusion can pour oil on those turbulent waters and make them calm. With but a murmured suggestion, he can soften pride and ignite compassion in estranged hearts. Feuds that festered for years have quietly been healed by his unseen hand. Bitter enemies have wept and embraced as brothers after a touch of Gusion's influence passed over them. Whether these renewed friendships are genuine or held together by the demon's enchantment is a mystery left to the souls involved, but the peace he grants in that moment is very real. For those who crave recognition and advancement, Gusion holds the keys to worldly honor as well. He is known to raise the lowly to high esteem and to tip the scales of fate in favor of the overlooked. Under his patronage, a pauper might find himself revered. A voiceless scholar may suddenly speak with authority. and doors once barred shut can swing open as if by destiny's own hand. Titles, promotions, accolades, these he can conjure into a mortal life like a courtier scattering gold before a king. Yet every boon from a demon is double-edged. The honors Gusion bestows carry shadows behind them, the green envy of others, and the burden of living up to the dignity granted. A man elevated by infernal grace may find rivals multiplying in the darkness, and friendships restored by sorcery may yet conceal cracks. It is said that Gusion's influence comes with a chill of caution. He shows that even gifts fairly earned can inspire jealousy and strife. Thus, the Duke of Hell weaves lessons into his favors, letting mortals taste glory while reminding them of its price. Throughout the ages, whispers of Gusion's deeds have flickered through the annals of occult lore. In the mythic age of King Solomon, it is told that Gusion was summoned and bound by the wise king's ring, forced to kneel and divulge the hidden truths of creation. Solomon, in his quest to build a temple and command the forces of the unseen, compelled this duke to serve, if only for a brief time, and in those moments Gusion revealed knowledge of wondrous and terrible things. When the brass vessel of Solomon was finally sealed, Gusion slipped back into darkness freed, yet forever marked by that ancient subjugation. In medieval grimoires, his name appears again, scrawled in secret margins and invoked in Latin rites beneath moonless skies. Sorcerers of old sought Gusion's counsel to learn the secrets of their rivals at court, to heal rifts that threatened their realms, or to gain an upper hand in scholarly pursuits and alchemical quests. It is said that during one forgotten war, a desperate king turned to a hermit wizard who dared to summon Gusion. The demon revealed the enemy's battle plans as clearly as if they had been written in the king's own hand, turning the tides of conflict in one night. Another tale speaks of two noblemen whose hatred for each other had drenched their land in blood. Only when a magus invoked Gusion did the rivals' hearts soften. They laid down their swords and swore friendship anew, never realizing a demon's subtle enchantment orchestrated their peace. Such legends, whether truth or parable, paint a portrait of a spirit moving unseen through the chronicles of the world, an invisible hand that has steered hearts and fates at crucial junctures. Yet to call upon Gusion is to walk a razor's edge. However civil his demeanor, he remains a creature of hell, and the old magicians devised their rites with meticulous care to keep such a being in check. Those who dare seek Gusion's audience do so girded in protective prayers and symbols, their circles drawn flawless, and their wills steeled. Many grimoires advise choosing the hours of daylight for his evocation, for Gusion is unusually tolerant of the sun's realm. At dawn or at the margin of dusk, those liminal times when night and day dance, the summoner finds the veil between worlds thinnest, and Gusion is said to be most amenable to being called into our midst. The ritual itself is a study in measured reverence. Blue and yellow candles burn at the circle's edge, colors of air and intellect to entice a spirit of Mercury's ilk. Fragrant incense of frankincense coils in the air, a tribute to the Duke's refined sensibilities. Clad in a robe inscribed with protective sigils, the summoner chants the incantations in a steady, rising cadence, each ancient name of power echoing in the stillness. The air grows heavy, charged with the tension of imminent contact. At last, with a final word of command, the barrier between realms yields. He comes not with a roar, but in preternatural stillness. One heartbeat, the circle stands empty. The next, a figure is there, illuminated by the candlelight and wreathed in slow swirls of smoke. Perhaps he appears as the hooded wanderer face, hidden in shadow, eyes glowing like distant stars, or the summoner beholds the jackal-headed giant, its canine visage noble and fearsome, inclining its head with a courtly air. In whatever guise Gusion manifests, the atmosphere thickens with his power. The flames quiver as a low voice addresses the summoner by name, polite, calm, and cold as starlight. Now the trial of wisdom begins. The mortal, heart-pounding but voice unwavering, states their plea or question. To show fear would be folly, to show disrespect, suicidal. So the summoner speaks with courtesy and conviction, invoking the ancient pact that binds spirit to circle. Gusion listens, silent as a statue, yet the weight of his attention is palpable. When he finally speaks, It is as if a dozen voices whisper in unison, though perhaps only the petitioner perceives it, echoing inside their mind. He answers what is asked, each word precise. A hidden truth is laid bare. Maybe the betrayer in the summoner's court is unmasked by name, or the key to healing a royal schism is imparted in a simple phrase. He may offer guidance too, couched in veiled imagery or stark clarity, as he sees fit. All the while, the demon's gaze never leaves the one who summoned him, as if measuring how each revelation is received. With every answer Gusion gives, it is said a mirror is held up to the summoner's soul. In the reflection of his words, they see his. Welcome to today's journey. In the reflection of his words, they see his own motives plain. A man who sought knowledge to save his people may find his own secret greed exposed in the process, or one who desired a friend's return may confront the role of his own pride in the rift. Gusion's truths have a way of cutting to the heart of matters. He does not temper them with compassion, nor taint them with malice, but delivers them pure and sharp. This is both his gift and his curse to mortals, enlightenment laden with the weight of responsibility. Such gifts are never given without expectation. Bargaining with the Duke of Hell demands as much care and respect as the summoning itself. Payment need not be coin or blood indeed. Gusion often prefers offerings of a subtler kind. He might ask for a deed to be done in his name at a later date, some ripple of influence that furthers his own ends, or he may claim a secret from the summoner's heart, a cherished memory offered up to enrich his trove of knowledge. Sometimes, it is said, even sincere praise of his wisdom and stature will satisfy the Duke, for a demon is not immune to well-placed flattery. But woe to the one who cheats or renege on any promise, for the Duke's patience ends where oaths are broken. Such betrayal is never forgotten. The legions under Gusion's command and fate itself will conspire to exact a toll far heavier than what was bargained for. When the dealings are concluded, the wise know to dismiss Gusion with all due formality. The license to depart is spoken, an ancient farewell, and command that the spirit may return whence he came in peace. The Duke, having fulfilled his part, will not resist this closure. Indeed, he often departs with a final knowing glance, as if amused by the mortal's mixture of courage and folly. In the span of a breath, the space he occupied is empty once more. The candles sputter and dim as the incense smoke thins into nothingness. A chill remains in the air. The memory of standing in the presence of something vast and otherworldly will not soon fade. In the aftermath, the summoner steps out of the circle, forever changed. They carry with them the answers they sought, truths that might save a kingdom, mend a broken heart, or grant the honor so fiercely desired. And they carry also the understanding that such gifts have bound them in turn. The friend reconciled through hell's grace, the honor earned by infernal boon, even the foreknowledge of success or doom. All are threads now woven into fate with Gusion's subtle hand. Only time will tell if those threads lead to triumph or tangle into new knots of trouble. And Gusion himself? He returns to the abyssal courts, to the endless infernal libraries and the midnight councils where he is most at home. There he waits, patient as stone, watching the ripples of the latest mortal bargain spread through the currents of destiny. He knows that as long as humans are riddled with questions and conflicts, there will be those bold or desperate enough to call on him. In time, another whispered incantation will reach his ears, another circle will be drawn in chalk and blood, another voice will crack in the smoky dark as it speaks his name. For Gusion is a paradox in the pit, a demon of darkness who deals in illumination, a master of secrets who yearns to share them for a price, ever ready to heed the next summons. His tale endures through the ages, a caution and a beacon to any who would seek wisdom at any cost. Listen closely, and you may hear it on the wind that sighs between the stars, the ever-present whisper of Gusion, waiting for the next soul willing to pay the price of truth.